Hi, Tin from Kaon. We are looking at diff drops. Now, if you have a lifted IFS vehicle, you might be considering a diff drop or being recommended a diff drop. We're going to look at why you might need a diff drop, the different types, what type might suit you, and whether you actually need one at all. Let's have a chat about what a diff drop's supposed to do. Now, when you lift your vehicle, you'll find that your CVs will be running at a steeper angle, and that can potentially cause more wear in your CV boots, more wear in your CVs, leading to more stresses and potential damage over time. Now, the other reason why you'd want to put a diff drop in is if you want to maximize the performance of your IFS setup and you're looking to put extended travel shocks in to get more articulation and drip, in which case you definitely want to make sure that your CVs don't bind, in which case you want to drop those diffs. So there's a couple of different types of diff drop kits available. One of those is a spacer style diff drop, and they come in different sort of thicknesses and different drops for your diff. Now, the problem with these is even though you might have a 40mm spacer, you're not going to get that drop at the diff. You'll get about maybe 23mm, depending on what style of spacer. Now, the other issue you have is because it spaces down the diff arms, the lowest point on those diff mounts, you're going to lose clearance, you're going to lose approach angle as well, and if the arms aren't replaced and the factory bushes remain in place, because of that angle, you're putting some stresses on those bushes, which is not ideal. The other consideration with a diff drop and the spacer style diff drops is now that you've spaced down those diff mounts and diff arms, you actually need to space down the bash plates as well to clear your diff drop. Another alternative is a full replacement diff drop where we change out all the mounts and arms. Now, the way we do this is we get a 3D scan of the chassis and the diff, and we actually position that diff within CAD so we can optimize clearances around what we need to avoid and also look at how much or maximize that drop of the diff. Now, we use polyurethane bushes, which we match to the stiffness of the factory bushes to maintain ride comfort. And by doing this, we're able to achieve a drop at the diff, which is substantially more than spacer style diff drops. And at the same time, we can manage the stresses and at the bushes and the mounts while also optimizing clearance as well. So people are concerned when they install a diff drop about losing that clearance. Now, you're going to lose that clearance at the diff here, which is in line with the axle and in line with your wheels. And in general, when you're going over an obstacle, those tyres will lift up the centre of that axle, which means losing a bit of clearance in the centre there is not such an issue. But what you get by lowering that diff and dropping that diff is a bit more peace of mind around your drivetrain. And having better CV angles means potentially less wear on your CV boots and your CV shafts. And when you're off-road and you're at those sort of extremes of CV angle, gives you that extra buffer that you're not going to break something when you're at those sort of outer angles of your drive shafts. Now, if you're one of those people who want to optimize and get the most out of your IFS setup, lowering that diff allows you to run those longer struts, allows you to get more droop and more articulation to improve your performance off-road. Another challenge around installing diff drops in the past has been the fact that compatibility with bash plates and what you need to do to get the bash plates back on there hasn't been optimal. So a lot of diff drops require you to actually space the entire bash plate down, losing clearance across the whole sort of underneath of your vehicle, which sort of negates your lift. Now, what we've done and how we've approached it is we've made bash plates specifically for our diff drop, giving you clearance around the pumpkin, but also maximizing the clearance everywhere else. So is it actually worth considering a diff drop for your setup? Now, that'll really depend on how you're using your vehicle, and if you're wanting to optimize your vehicle for off-road performance, suspension travel, and also you want to protect your CV shafts and boots from premature wear, that's probably important. The other thing to consider is, optimizing these departure and approach angles when also lifting your vehicle. So those are the sort of things you might want to consider, and if you want to find out more, visit our website, kaon.com.au.